Welcome back, True Seeker. It's Thursday, June 29th, 2023, and want to talk about some of the top headlines and again, hopefully wake up a few people. Madonna fans who bought tickets to the upcoming concerts might want to think about refunding those, and we'll talk about why in this broadcast. We're going to talk about her supposed bacterial infection, which has postponed the tour. Talk about the announcement of the tour when that happened by the numbers. Now we'll talk about the postponement by the numbers. And again, for people who know Madonna's music, she has that song about the Illuminati. I'll clue you into what she didn't say in the lyrics in this broadcast. Also, the day the news broke was the day the New York Yankees had the first perfect game of the season. Their pitcher threw a perfect game, which is a rare accomplishment in baseball. Notice the picture that the media used of Madonna was her in a New York Yankees top. And again, what a joke. The first perfect game on June 28th, 6/28. If you know mathematics, the first two perfect numbers are 6 and 28. And then the next one's 496. Then it goes up into the thousands. And then it goes up even bigger. Perfect numbers are rare, but the first two are 6 and 28. You get the first perfect game of the MLB season on 6/28. And we'll talk about just how perfect the ritual was. Again, further proof of how scripted sports are from the final score to the box score. Since Madonna's in the news, it's fitting that it comes days after Rihanna was making headlines with Louis Vuitton, pregnant with her second child. Of course, in Madonna's Illuminati lyrics, she references Rihanna. So we'll bring that point into focus. And today, New York fashion design company made a tribute to Louis Vuitton handbag that's as big as a grain of rice that sold for $63,000. We'll get to why it sold for that much. And today on the 29th, first headline of the day, and pretty much the biggest story of the day, Supreme Court pretty much overturns affirmative action at universities. And then that headline was followed with Ketanji Brown Jackson and Clarence Thomas have a verbal feud, the two black Supreme Court justices, after they point out that the affirmative action ruling will mostly impact black Americans. And then, now supposedly one of the bad guys from January 6th, he was caught in Obama's neighborhood with explosives. All these stories on the 29th, all federal related, all black American related. And why on the 29th? Of course, because in Gematria, black is 29, and every day it's news by the numbers, and all news really is programming in all directions, northeast, west, and south. It's not here to help us. It's your regularly scheduled programming. We'll also revisit something that somebody brought up last night on TFR, the recent death of a Jimmie Johnson in-law. And then also we had a caller ask about the death of Woozy the Goat's grandparents. Small social media rapper, but made national headlines earlier this year for reportedly murdering his grandparents and then turning himself into a psychiatric ward. So we'll look at the familiar pattern there. But let's start right here with Madonna. Supposedly, serious bacterial infection is what she came under this weekend, June 24th, which was Freemasonry's 306th birthday. Again, modern Freemasonry established June 24th, 1717 in London, England. Of course, in Major League Baseball, they had their first London game on that day. But then they saved the news for June 28th. And it's not hard to see why. That was 306 days after Madonna's birthday. And again, she gets ill on the Freemasonry's 306th birthday, and they save the news for 4 days later, 306 days after her own birthday. I mean, the ritual is just so obvious. And shout out to Marco Power. He noticed that also. Remember when the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, died? She died on Madonna's birthday, who's the Queen of Pop. Well, from the Queen of England's death, September 8th, on the Virgin Mary's birthday, to the Madonna news was 293 days later, which is the 62nd prime number. And the word Madonna is 62. The word Queen is 62. The word Mason is 62. So a little perfect ritual there. And you might recall that Madonna and Beyonce, they put out that song. Uh, the title of it's escaping me, but they put it out right before the news of the Queen's death. And there was a lot to the Queen's passing at the time. But also, in light of it being 306 days after her birthday, that means it's 59 days before her upcoming birthday. Bacteria equals 59, as does Freemasonry. And remember, from the establishment of Freemasonry in 1717 to the birth of this nation, the US, was 59 years later. And 59 is the 17th prime number. Freemasonry equals 59. Mason 17. On Freemasonry's birthday, nonstop 17 rituals in the MLB. The most obvious of all of them was in the 17th state, Ohio. The Brewers lost to Cleveland, falling to 17-17 versus the American League for the year, like Freemasonry, born in 1717. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make also is it's not an accident that they put out this photo of Madonna in a Yankees top on the day of the perfect game. Because again, the same people who are scripting Madonna's music career and telling her what headlines to report and what she's ill with and what day to bring out the news, they're the same people that are scripting your Major League Baseball game, your National Football League, your NBA basketball game, your NHL hockey game. Again, the fix is in, the game is rigged, and these entertainers, they are controlled by the Illuminati. You know, they have people like Madonna make a song about it that really doesn't say anything, drops a few names that are Illuminati puppets like Rihanna. But yeah, again, what a joke on Freemasonry's 306th birthday and the news 306 days after. If you weren't watching TFR last night, we looked this up and solved it in about all of 10 seconds. Domingo German, perfect game happened last night during TFR, and we looked at it and saw the main thing right away within 10 seconds. Again, he threw this perfect game 37 days before his upcoming birthday on a Wednesday. Perfect equals 37, like Wednesday's 37, like Yankees is 37. Again, if you're new here, Gematria, very simple. It's the alphabetic order forwards and backwards, and forwards and backwards with numerology, just turning the letters into numbers by counting the letters. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, so on. If you count in reverse, Z is 1 all the way back to A is 26. But perfect Wednesday in Yankees, all 37 days before his birthday. And then here's the big kicker, too. Again, it was on June 28th, 628. The first two perfect numbers are 6 and 28. And he had 99 pitches in the box score. Domingo German threw 99 pitches in the most simple cipher. Just A is 1 up to Z is 26. Perfect game, 99. And we've documented this a million times over the years. These perfect box scores, these perfect rituals, these perfect scripts. So for the people that want to live in denial, you're not doing yourself any favors. Okay, so Madonna, she has the song Illuminati. And shout out to Jeff Young. I learned about this song through Jeff Young. Played it on his program, Music Without Boundaries. But at the beginning, she says, it's not Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's not Nicki or Lil Wayne. It's not Oprah and Obama, the Pope or Rihanna, Queen Elizabeth or Kanye. It's not pentagrams or witchcraft. It's not triangles or stacks of cash, black magic or Gaga, Gucci or Prada, riding on the golden calf. But, just rewinding back up, the Pope or Rihanna. And Rihanna's had some very serious rituals in recent years. When she became a billionaire, when it was announced that she was a billionaire, it was 201 days from her birthday. Huge number of the Jesuits in the Illuminati. Again, the Jesuits founded the Illuminati, Adam Weishaupt. The Jesuit order and order of Illuminati equal 201, like Pope Francis is the first Jesuit Pope and the first 11 suite 201. Again, when Rihanna became a billionaire, it was 201 days from her birthday. Notice this recent ritual with her posing for Louis Vuitton on June 26th in the time of the 266th Pope. Again, just those lyrics right there, how it's in the same line. It's not the Pope or Rihanna, it's in the same line, right? Now you got Rihanna posing for Louis Vuitton out of Paris, France, just like where the Jesuits were created in Paris, France. But on 26/6, again, the Jesuit motto, "We sus hominum salvator" equals 266. Pope Francis is the 266th Pope. But check this out. She posed on her 127th day of her age. Louis Vuitton, of course, is 127, but so is Bavarian Illuminati. And Bavarian Illuminati is also 188. And June 26th is. Did I not write it there? Here, hold on. I guess I forgot to write it. June 26th, just so you can see with your own eyes, it's the day leaving 188 days left in the year. Okay. And just for the record, it's also the 177th day of the year. If you run it forwards, the Jesuit order is 177. If you run it in reverse, it's 201. But again, Bavarian Illuminati was the original name of the Illuminati, and then he changed the name to Order of Illuminati, which equals 201, like the Jesuit order, like how Adam Weishaupt, the founder, would die 201 days. He would die 201 days after the anniversary of the Illuminati's establishment on May 1st. So, you just right there, you know Madonna didn't write these lyrics, and that's a reason to do a greater case study on Rihanna. And isn't it interesting how many of the names in that are in the world of hip hop, which has become the most influential music form in the 21st century? And nothing against the genre, but I mean, a lot of the mainstream rappers aren't promoting any kind of positive message. They're promoting all these designer brands, materialism, uh, not good healthy habits, from purple drink to certain lifestyles. But yeah. Oprah, remember Oprah had Trump on in 88 and asked him about if he'd ever want to be president someday. And of course, Trump equals 88. So does Elizabeth. And remember when he came out to Queen, "We Are the Champions" for the first time at his GOP convention, 88 days after the Queen's birthday back in 2016. Did it in the Cavs Stadium right after LeBron James won the finals on the real King James's birthday, June 19th. LeBron becomes 4-6 in finals years later. Biden becomes number 46 less than a month later, 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, when Catholics 46. Reminded that Braun went to the Catholic high school, and that the Illuminati is Jesuit, and the Jesuits are the military order of the Catholic Church. Okay, so with regards to the Illuminati and Louis Vuitton, which has the overlap, now we got the size of a grain of rice Louis Vuitton tribute bag selling for 63,000. The Illuminati equals 63. And that HBO show, HBO's as Jesuit as they come, that HBO show Succession, which just recently ended. You got to love how, if you haven't seen Succession, I'm going to ruin it for you, so plug your ears. But it's about, a billionaire who's like the modern day Walt Disney. He owns theme parks, news, movie studios, everything. He's like the most powerful man on earth. He's like more powerful than the government. And, he's getting old and he's dying, and he's thinking about passing the business on to his children. He's got 4 children. One of them doesn't care about the business at all. The oldest, he's not even a part of it. But the 3 younger ones, they all want to be in charge of the business. And here's the part where I'm going to ruin it. In the final episode, the daughter's name, which is Shiv. Shiv is another name for a dagger. She stabs her brothers in the back and destroys the family business and sells it to a guy out of Switzerland. And she does that because she's married to another guy who's, anyway, I won't ruin it all for you, but it was in the girl's name the whole time. The daughter's name is Shiv, which is a backstabber, a dagger. But anyway, the point I brought up, the reason I brought up the show Succession is there was an episode earlier this year, Sunday, April 16th, 2023, 4 plus 16 plus 20 plus 23, 63. The date numerology of the debut of the episode was 63. And in the episode, the oldest son buys his father's house after his father dies for $63 million. And I thought, They did not do that by accident. He buys the house for 63 million and the episode debuts on 63 date numerology. Again, it's because these numbers are a language and they're putting the same stuff in the shows that they're putting in our news. It's all part of the programming. It's all part of the code. So imagine paying 63,000 for that. I don't even know how you don't lose that thing. Don't turn the vacuum on near it. Anyway, yeah, and this is just the stuff that just makes me the sickest, really, right here. The When I first started presenting YouTube videos, it was because when I figured out this code, I started to realize that there was really a racism code in promoting news stories based on race by a numerical code. And I just thought, this is unbelievable that this is being done. Like, I always knew that it was a bunch of crap, the news. I knew secret societies had something to do with what's going on in this nation, but oh my God, making programming by a code every day, this is a joke. And we've been exposing it for a decade straight now. Well, in August, it'll be a decade straight. But yeah, it's frustrating that more people don't care and more people don't want to share. Because again, I mean, this stuff is elementary, and you learn this, you just see what our federal government really is. I mean, this should piss everybody off that this is what our federal government is: something that performs rituals every day on the populace. The regularly scheduled programming today's programming is about racism. Was affirmative action racist from the beginning because it made federal policy decisions based on race? So yeah, inherently it was racist. But people said, well, we need that to counter, the fact that racism is real in today's society. Today, Clarence Thomas was talking about how racist society is. Well, we'll get to how perfect it all is. But I remember my high school. When I was in high school, I'd moved to the suburbs, and the high school I was at had one black teacher in the whole school, Mr. Beck. Shout out to Mr. Beck. He was great for opening our eyes up. He talked about controversial things. He got suspended while I had him because he brought in a sorority pledge and read the sorority pledge in class, and somebody went home and told their parents, and they thought it was inappropriate, and he got suspended. I was upset when he got suspended because he was my favorite teacher. But I remember talking to him one day because he was saying that he didn't think affirmative action should exist. And I said to him in the classroom, and I could tell I made him think, I said, well, do you think if affirmative action didn't exist, do you think you'd have a job here? That was before he got suspended. I said, you are the only black teacher in the school. And he said, He goes, well, maybe you got a point there. But he was making the point that it's dumb to make decisions based on race. So I understood what he was saying, but he was just always, he just always tried to make us think about things. And yeah, for being a good teacher, he got suspended too. So, I mean, that's how it is. You make your students think, you might get in trouble. I went through the same thing as a teacher. But on the 29th of June, everything's about black Americans today. Ketanji Brown Jackson and Clarence Thomas are having a feud. Affirmative actions being overturned for education by the Supreme Court, essentially, and it's going to impact black Americans. And then the only black president we ever had, one of the January 6thers tried to kill him today. He was arrested with explosives in Obama's neighborhood. And again, it's just so obvious. It's the 29th of the month, and black equals 29. And, another part of me thinks about them doing this in June, the 6th month. Again, 6 is important to the creation of humanity, right? Because man's made on the 6th day. And seemingly the people who are most situated for this planet, this earth, whatever you want to call it, are black people, the people of the sun, the people who can go out and essentially don't get sunburnt. And, there's a lot of arguments that the oldest human beings date back to the continent of Africa, which is predominantly black. Methuselah, the oldest person in the Old Testament, is obviously black. The only physical description of Jesus is that of a black man, or at least someone who's mixed with African descent. And again, we have this phrase, the whitewashing of history, right? The whitewashing of history. Jesus, he's modeled after Caesar Borgia, who was born September 13th, the day Tupac died, before they put out the album cover with him on the cross like Jesus. And his alias on the cover is Machiavelli, when the real Machiavelli wrote The Prince based on Caesar Borgia. Anyway, all these little rituals. By the way, Tupac Shakur equals 139, dead on 13/9. When Tupac's mother died, remember they announced that news? The news broke on May 3rd. She died May 2nd, but the news didn't break until May 3rd, which was the real Machiavelli's birthday. Anyway, on the 29th, everything's black. And it's a sick joke, man, that just goes on literally day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. This is what we're made to pay taxes to, you guys. This is what we're made to obey. We're made to obey this government that operates this way. I mean, just think about how much of an injustice that is, that we have to pay money to this thing, that we have to obey this thing. This thing. And you see what the game is. They rule, they make the rules, and they keep us fighting over stupid stuff. You know what, black people? Be glad they got rid of affirmative action. If it's going to make it harder for you to go to college, good, because college is bullshit for the most part. It's overpriced. You learn a whole bunch of stuff you don't need to learn. Sure, there are some career paths that you have to go to college to make it there, but you know what? There's a lot of great career paths outside of college. Right now, there's a shortage of people with, skills that are good careers. Mechanics, electricians, plumbers, all these things you can learn in a matter of time. Maybe not everybody wants to be a plumber, but the thing is, you learn those things, you can be your own boss, you can have your own business, you can be making $80+ an hour before you're even 30 years old, and that's doing a lot better than most people. Plus, you're your own boss, which is invaluable. So, and you won't have a whole bunch of student debt. But yeah, again, I mean, it's just gross. And yeah, I mean, just so obviously themed. And again, I mean, I wish I would have found this stuff out when I was 18 years old, because I knew there was something up with numbers and themed news, and it almost annoys me that it took me over 10 years to find the answer to what I was looking for. I wish I could go back to being 18 years old with this knowledge. Because, I mean, just for like a decade, I was like, what's with all the rituals in the news? Like, is there something about numbers? Why is everything themed? How come the last 2 weeks it was all color alerts and don't go outside, it's an orange day, it's a red day, the terrorists could blow you up on any corner. And now all of a sudden they're not talking about cover alerts this week because there's a missing blonde girl. So when there's a missing blonde girl, the terrorists just go away. Oh my God. This is our federal government. It treats us like a joke, and I don't know. Most people I guess they like being treated like they're a joke. Okay, so again, this Jimmie Johnson thing. The news broke June 27th. That's the day leaving 187 days left in the year. Again, that's the homicide code. So, Jimmie Johnson. It was 83 days before his birthday. We know murder's 83. You could also say it was 84 days before his birthday. It was 83 days before his birthday, or a span of 84 days. Murder's 83. The span of 84 is relevant because he drives the number 84 car in NASCAR. So, again, you're related to people in the world of celebrity. Look out. You never know. You just never know when the next sacrifice is going to be needed. So, I'm sure there's a lot more to this for people who follow NASCAR. You might want to look into Jimmie Johnson. Could be for an upcoming race. I know back in 2020, there was a NASCAR driver. It was reported in the news that he just lost his child who was just recently born. And the next thing you know, he won the next big NASCAR event. Sure, it was just a coincidence. And then, again, somebody called in last night and asked if I could look into the murder of the grandparents of the rapper who goes by the name Woozy the Goat. There's not a lot of information on Woozy the Goat because he's he's an online rapper. I forget what these platforms are where you upload your own music, but SoundCloud or something like that. But something did stand out about this. The murders happened on March 21st, 21/3, like 213. And again, remember Tupac Shakur, he put out All Eyes on Me on February 13th, 213. And then he died 213 days later. And in Satanic Gematria, death is 213. That other rapper that was accused of murder recently, I think his name is like YNW Melly. He had a big 213 murder ritual. We've seen it a number of times. And yeah, I don't know if this was his attempt to make it to the next level and it didn't go quite right or what, but the 213 thing is definitely suspicious. And at the same time, spells and spelling. Sometimes I wonder too if there are powers to those numbers, and somehow, some way, they might influence certain people in the wrong way to do the wrong type of thing, like murder their grandparents. But yeah, on the flip side of that, I mean, this you can just see is just made up crap. This whole Madonna postponing, nice cross earrings, by the way. But again, I mean, 306th birthday of Freemasonry. The news 306 days after her birthday. And it's just such a joke. And what it should also be a reminder to people is, again, the Illuminati doesn't need money. Whenever people are coming at us going, oh, they wouldn't do that, they'd lose so much money. You guys, we essentially live in a real life Monopoly game. When you play Monopoly, you know the money's not real. In this life, the money seems real, right? Because it pays the rent and the groceries. For us and who have to play the game, for us, it's real in that sense. But for the people who run the game, you know, they have the printing press, just like when you're the banker in Monopoly, you can cheat, right? You got a dishonest banker, they might be slipping themselves some of those bigger bills. You weren't paying attention. You're like, hey, how do you buy up all the properties all over this board? I don't remember you getting that much money. That's how it is. That's the world we live in. So the money's just here to control us. People at the top running the show, controlling the rituals, the sports leagues, the entertainers, the news. They're in the club that prints the money. So puppets like Madonna, yeah, they get big paychecks from the people who print the money, so they get to live in the nice mansion and help sell the American dream. But remember, they're just helping sell the dream. They have limitations too. Again, I'll always encourage people to go back to the MTV show Cribs, find the Floyd Mayweather episode. He shows his huge garage full of cars, and then he says the important thing, but I'm not allowed to drive them. I thought this guy made money rain from the sky. Is this all just like some kind of illusion? Are they just making it seem like you could be the next great boxer and live in a mansion with $20 million cars in your garage? But wait a minute, he can't drive any of them? What was that remark? He's not allowed to drive any of the cars in his garage? Maybe it's not his house. Maybe he really doesn't get all that money. Maybe he's just the talented boxer that gets out there. He might get to live better than the next guy, but maybe not as good as the dream they're selling. You have a car full of if you have a garage full of cars and you're not allowed to drive any of them, something's up with that. That means they're not your cars. What else could Floyd Mayweather tell us? So anyway, we'll leave it there for tonight, True Seeker. Thank you to everyone who hit the like and the share. And again, the more likes, the more shares, the more comments, the more likely a stranger will find the video. And thank you again, LAF. I appreciate the generosity. Shout out to Open Up. Appreciate it, Open Up. You have done your part supporting the work. Thank you very much. Shout out to Christopher. Chris says, really bad air quality in Illinois. The air smells like plastic, benzene, and formaldehyde chemicals from the wildfires from Canada. One friend was sick, and my other friend has asthma, went to the hospital. My advice, I know exactly what you're going through. We had it for a month in 2020 out here, and we've had some smoke here in recent days too. It's not as bad as what you guys have, but again, fluids, lots of fluids. And if you can get cilantro and parsley in your diet, again, those things clean toxins and metals from your body. I'd say that those are must-have foods right now at this time. And yeah, for the record, Canada and wildfires have the same gematria, and this is just it's sick, man. What they're doing with again, Canada starts having wildfires in the spring, and they're just doing this so they can say, see how extreme the climate change is. See what we need to do, America? We need the smart cities. Oh man, and again, this is not Mother Nature. It's definitely the psychopaths. So stay well, Chris. Sorry to hear that. Um, yeah, and I'm sure as summer goes on, it's going to be more and more of us. So, yeah, take care of yourself. Eat well. Lots of fluids. Research other smart foods that are good for cleaning toxins from the body. And shout out to LAF again. Looks like they did ×2. Hey, I see Jeremy White. What's up, Jeremy White? Jeremy White says, thanks for all you do. Adding to the perfect game ritual, Domingo means Sunday in Spanish. Sunday, German Sunday. Huh. Good one. Jeremy White's always got a great observation. If you guys don't know about Jeremy White's channel, that's JHW3D. Go on there. He has some great video captures, just stuff every sports fan needs to see. He hasn't uploaded anything for a while, but he has some great documentation on there, some funny 201s, a numerology lesson that they gave the Sunday Night Football crew in the battle of Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers, the battle of the 12s, where Tom equals 12 and Aaron doesn't, and Tom won that game. But interesting. I wonder if anything's coming to Germany. Domingo. All right. And shout out to John Mendoza again. John Mendoza's a busy tipper. John, you have tipped me too many times. I appreciate it. John Mendoza's become the new Sarah Sutherland. I mean, he's got. I don't even have my phone on here. I better go look at my phone. He probably sent me a Cash App too. You don't have to do any more, John. You've done a lot. F chipped in 5 as well. He said, keep up the great work, Z. In 2 weeks, summit to deal with Russia, World War III. Okay, I'll look into that. By the way, in about 2 weeks, I'm also going to have D26 on. You guys know D26, brilliant young guy. He's the young Indian man. He's got the real nice, smooth accent. Very easy to understand. But he wants to do a nice, long collaboration. And I don't know how long the stream will go because D26 can really talk. I had him on the phone the other day while I was working in the background, and the conversation went on for 4 hours. But yeah, he wants to do a stream on July 14th, and that's Bastille Day in France. But yeah, D26 will be doing a stream with us shortly, and hopefully I can connect with George and Johnny Cerrucci and that crew, and Eric 777, and do another stream soon. So. All right. But yeah, wanted to get those headlines in. And again, thank you to everyone. Very generous. Thank you everyone who hits the like and the share. And we'll see what they got for us tomorrow. It's the last day of June already. And then July is upon us. Till next time, True Seeker.